Hey everyone, it's Amanda.Shertzer. If you don't know me, I am a channel. I post short messages on Monday mornings on my YouTube channel, which is where you found me. Um, my background's in hypnosis, so I put myself in a hypnotic state and I can access some information that normally I wouldn't be able to access on a daily basis. But anyway, enough about me. These are the predictions that I have for 2020. This is the third year, I think, of doing these because I find it fun. So here we go. We'll see what you think about this. All right. So the first thing I got, normally I do, I set out like what sort of sections I want to look at, but I just sort of got a big rush of all kinds of different things that came in, which seems to be environment, financial, political, and sort of mental health related. I didn't get much health stuff this time. Anyway, but a lot of financial and political. So I did a 10-year predictions video, which I still hope to put out as a collaboration between me and my friend Yara, who also has a channel on YouTube. I'll link to her in the description. But the first thing I saw was, as far as U.S. politics, I saw Trump and Biden as the main, Democrat, Republican um, candidates, which makes me kind of sad because I don't really like either of them. No offense to anybody who does support them, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't happen to be uh, feeling. The feeling I get is that neither one of them is really service to others, majority oriented, and I'm a big supporter of Andrew Yang and the Humanity First movement. So that is what I really wanted to see. I really wanted to see Yang up there. And this is not an indication that that can't happen because, we're still a year away. So, we can work on that. Things can change. It's just my reading as of right now. It looks like Biden will be the president. I mean, that I'm just seeing him. I'm not seeing Trump. So, I did see a third person that was a really strong contender, but just there's too much. How do I describe it? I want to say political. There's too much traditional political machinery still in place to allow the person who, a lot of people want to see that could create really real change for so many people to allow that to be a reality. We still have, our systems are not, all our systems need overhauls, of course. I'm not telling anybody anything new. But the third person that comes up is really sort of inspiring people's hope that we can create a different reality for ourselves than the same old thing that's been going on. We keep trying to create, keep voting for somebody and wishing they would create this big change. We're really counting on them to create this big change, and then we don't see a really big change in anything. Our daily lives don't really change. And so I think there's a lot of drive within us to make that happen. And it's just our system, the way it is not going to allow for that. However, if Trump or Biden do get elected, it is, what I did see was it's going to stir this big grassroots movement, these big grassroots movements in everything, in every sector of our lives. And we are going to see change that way. That is the way we're going to see change, is in our communities. And more on that in a minute about how that's going to work. But it's really going to inspire us personally to create whatever change we can create and to really support different ways of creating change. So that's political. I think that was it. Hold on, let me look real quick. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, the other thing is financial. That's the other big area. As far as the stock market, I mean, it seems like it's okay through 2020, but maybe towards the end of the year with the election, things might start to go south on that. Especially, I'm seeing a lot of traditional companies. A lot of stuff is coming out about sort of shady practices and things that they supported that are not in the best interest of the people, and people are going to be angry. And so those big stocks, and I'm seeing one in particular, and I don't want to call them out, but traditional companies are maybe not the best investments toward the end of 2020. Rising tech, emerging tech companies are still really strong. I don't see that being affected, especially any company run by someone really progressive with progressive ideas like heart-centered, human-centered focuses. Wanting to make the world a better place. Any company like that seems like it'll be still fine. It will survive this downturn toward the end of the year. So any tech or environment forward-focused, humanity-focused companies will be good investments, I think. That's what I'm seeing anyway. It seemed like there was something else on financial. Digital currencies like Bitcoin. People have asked about that. They're not going away, but our current system is also not going away. So it looks like they're sort of going to be parallel, not just in 2020, but just going forward. It's going to take time for them to eventually merge. I mean, we already have digital transactions. It's just the traditional transactions are governed by things. And, people are kind of not that confident in the way that that's being controlled or governed or managed. And then we have these digital platforms like Bitcoin. And the image I got was that Bitcoin, if you're looking at a chart, it goes up, it continues to go up. So that seems like a good investment. But the other digital currencies are either remaining stable or, slight increases, not as much as Bitcoin. I guess it's more well known or something. But that's what I was seeing as far as the digital currency. It is going to be used just as much as our, debit cards and, the money we use now, taking cash out of the picture. The way we use, our money now is we never see it. It's, it's in our bank and we use this little piece of plastic, and then the money from our bank goes to somebody else. And so it's just going to be sort of like, eventually you have a choice. Do you want to use your Bitcoin for this transaction, or do you want to use your traditional digital debit card transaction for it? But I see it as a parallel. I mean, it's going to be equally. I'm not sure if this is this year or into the future, because I did look like for the next 10 years on the last time when I did this before, which I haven't published that yet. I'm still hoping to put that out. Let's see. Yeah. So that's all I got on the digital currency. Whether we're gonna, I don't see us switching over completely to that, especially not this year. But I do see that it becoming sort of a parallel to what we already use. Okay, weather was another thing. continued displacement of people because of crazy weather disasters and major things. Of course, we've always had natural disasters on this planet. This is nothing new. But we're going to continue to see weird weather, like gigantic hail and tornadoes in places where there aren't normally, it's very unusual to have a tornado there. I even saw hurricanes affecting Europe. Not as in they come in and, hit the UK or anything, but something about the wind patterns changing and the ocean currents, like the warmer currents coming up more north towards Europe. So that's going to affect the continent more, maybe with the weird weather, stuff that we're not used to happening there. I also saw a lot of flooding on the east coast of the U.S. Let me make sure that wasn't for 10 years instead of just 2020. It looks like for 2020, it's more the Northeast, and for the next 10 years, the entire coast, including like the middle toward the south. Not so much Florida, but the Carolinas, Georgia, Virginia, maybe. That's for the next 10 years. More and more rain events and flooding and hurricanes and yeah. But I guess towards the Northeast mainly for 2020. What else? Yeah. Yeah, I guess those are the main things. And then, so I was looking for the main theme of 2020, and it seems to be personal power. Because we have tried, we keep trying, and we keep hoping that our political systems all over the world will change, and they really aren't changing fast enough to suit us. I mean, we want dramatic change. We want to help people right now. We want to help ourselves right now. We want a better quality of life. We don't want to worry. We don't want to be fearful. So, with any elections that happen this year, what will happen is we will sort of see that dramatic changes are not happening, and we are going to step up and claim our personal power, and we are going to get together with others, and we are going to create changes in our communities. And they showed me that we're already doing this. I mean, I know in my community there's we have several free food pantries. We have churches and organizations who just give free food. They give money for bills. And we live in a very small community. We have like 5,000 people. We have, churches and individuals who take and distribute free clothing. There's a group giving away free bicycles. I mean, people are always, I maintain a Facebook group for my community, or I'm the admin among a few others. But there are always people posting, hey, I just put food in the food pantry, or hey, there's, several boxes of fruit at this place called Life Ministries, which is run by a local church. Hey, I just posted a bunch of free clothing on my site that I'm managing. And they're showing me that, I was checking on universal basic income because I really support this. And, I know the mechanics of it aren't, all ironed out, like how we're going to get the money and how it's going to be paid, and people are anxious about it and all that. But what they were saying was that UBI is going to come about just like the food and the clothing that people are taking in and distributing, only it's going to be small amounts of money at first. So that's kind of exciting to me. So taking in, like what if we have these things at stores where, you throw your change in for the Ronald McDonald House, or, Muscular Dystrophy Association or whatever, you throw your change in there and you don't really think of what happens to it. Well, in this case, it's going to be like giving 1s and 5s and 10s to your community, and then and then just distributing it all to everybody who needs it. I'm not sure if that's exactly how it's going to work, but something along those lines. I was tapping into the information that the UBI is going to come about by smaller amounts at first and then increase. So it may not be in the way I just said. It may be small local governments giving cash dividends on profits from their community, and it may be $5 a year or something. Anyway, it'll be something that'll start the momentum going to pick that up. And so what's going to happen for us as far as health is really going to be sort of a mental health boost. And when you boost your mental health, it creates an overall health in your body. Excuse me. So claiming our personal power by the end of this year and working on making these changes that we want to see ourselves and feeling very empowered and working with other people, working in cooperation with other people. So you've got the social aspect. So that's all very good for our health, our mental health and our physical health. So really claiming personal power is the way to create the big change this year, I think. So if things, like I said, things could turn out different. This is just my initial reading right in this moment. It could be completely different by the end of the year, and we could, we can create the change we want to see if we focus on supporting those people who really want the changes that we also want. And you have to use your intuition a little bit. I mean, you can't just trust what people say. You have to, check in and say, well, I heard what he said, but do I feel like he really meant it, or she? So when you check in, you can't vote out of fear. Well, I've got to vote for so-and-so because he's the only chance to beat so-and-so, you've got to vote for the person you want to vote for. And if everybody did that, we might have change. People don't make very good decisions out of fear. I mean, when you're very fearful, you react rather than really considering things. Anyway, so 2020 is our year of personal power. Let's go out and make things happen that we want to see, changes we want for ourselves. Let's make them for others. Hopefully it'll all come full circle and everything will start to really improve for humanity. That's all I have for now. I do have a giveaway in my Patreon group. It's patreon.com/TTH for time travel hypnosis. Also, I also do hypnosis. I'm giving away a book called Sabbatical from Yes. It's a fantastic book by Christi Daniels. I took her class years and years ago. It really made a drastic change in my life and how I saw things. So I'm giving away her book in my Patreon group for anybody that joins at any level in December 2019. And the first level is $1.11. So it's really, like $1.11 for a chance to win a book is a pretty good deal. Anyway, hope everyone's doing well, and I will check in with you again soon.